is Matt, 41 years old. Decided I'm going to learn to skateboard. My brand new skateboarding setup arrived in the mail today. So let's check out what I picked out here, kind of based on the options I had on the website and also my research and understanding of what skateboard parts do and the kind of skateboarding experience I wanted to build for myself. So let's see what we got here. So the first few things I got aren't necessarily directly related to the skateboard itself. I decided I was going to get into skateboarding. I ordered the skateboard online. I went down to the grocery store, got myself some gauze pads and tape, some large bandages, kind of anticipating that I was going to get familiar with the effects of concrete and asphalt on skin. So I'm getting into skateboarding knowing that I'm going to fall and yeah, I imagine I'll get hurt a little bit, but I'm not going to let that deter me, and I'm just going to be prepared for it. So I also decided, and this also came before the skateboard, that I'd get myself a good helmet, and as you can see, this one fits really nice and it's actually really comfortable. It's double XL, which I have an enormous head. If you have a giant head, there are helmets out there for you. The next thing I got was a skate tool. Pretty sure you can imagine what it's for. The metal pieces that hold the metal and rubber to the wood on the board. Things for turning and holding, and that's what this is. So now on to the pieces of the skateboard itself. The grip tape. I went with the Mob grip tape. I mean, it feels like sandpaper. Pretty much it is sandpaper. That's what this is. Next up, I've got hardware. It's like eight machine screws, 8 nuts. The thing is, 6 of the screws and nuts are black, 2 of the screws and nuts are silver. I don't exactly know why that is. What I feel like it's for is so you can put 2 of the silver ones at one end of the board, and then you know you just have a direction on the board. Which I can see that being, you perhaps wanting that if you have your truck set up a particular way or something. Next up, because as I mentioned, I got bigger wheels, which I'll show those in a second. So I got a set of 1/8" risers from Independent, or whatever, I don't know, risers, there you go. The trucks, I went with 149s, based on the width of the board and what pretty much the internet said, and the measurements all made sense to me. 149 seemed like the size to go for an 8¼ inch board. But again, went with Independent trucks. Seeing Independent truck t-shirts pretty much my whole life, I was like, yeah, that seems like the good way to go, at least for a first skateboard. Next up, went with a set of titanium coated Rush bearings. They say 7 on them. 7. 7-minute abs. I'm a sucker for cool packaging, and this is a cool package. And again, 7. Make my dog here nervous. She knows what I'm in for, maybe a little bit more than I do even. Next up, pretty important part of the skateboard are the wheels, and I went with the Santa Cruz Slime Balls, 58mm diameter and 99A Duro. My idea was, I started off wanting kind of like a long board, but then I didn't want a huge board, and then I was like, oh, I'll get like a mini cruiser, but then I was like, that's too small, and I was like, I'll just get a regular skateboard. I'm looking mainly to for transportation out of this. Like, someday, hopefully I'll be like jumping over things, onto things, grinding things, just just like amazing passerby. But for starters, I kind of want to like put on a backpack and grab my skateboard and roll over to King Soopers. So I felt like some larger wheels, get me over obstacles, plus having a little bit more rolling momentum so I don't have to worry about continually kicking. That's what led me to pick these out. I don't know very much here, so I'm not making any suggestions, and I'm actually looking more for feedback than anything. But now finally, we get to the most important part. Went with blind skateboard, and I selected the Little Miss Munchies design, thinking I'd run into fewer children with the same skateboard. Run into a kid at the skate park who has this. Could be like, hey, where'd your mom buy that for you? And he's like, haha, yeah. Then later on I could like meet his mom or something. But anyway, so yeah, now I get to put all this stuff together and then begin my new life as a skateboarder. So I'm pretty excited about that, and that's what comes next. So stay tuned. We'll talk to you soon. 7. 7. 7.